Back in the golden age, Hollywood was a dream factory. The place that churned out stories defining our culture, launching careers, and creating icons that lasted generations. It was supposed to be where talent met opportunity, where great stories got told, and where the magic of cinema lived forever. Fast forward to 2025, and Hollywood is, well, still making movies, but not exactly the cultural powerhouse people signed up for. Instead of dominating entertainment, it's watching its empire crumble while YouTube creators and TikTokers steal its audience. Box office numbers are down 23% from pre-pandemic levels, and analysts don't expect recovery until after 2029. So what the hell happened? Is Hollywood dying? Hell yes, it is, in its bloated, soul-sucking form. And honestly, good riddance. Let's go through it because the list of problems is long enough to fill a Harvey Weinstein court transcript. Here's where things started to fall apart. Hollywood promised to be the great equalizer, the place where talent and hard work meant something. But when you look under the hood, what you actually get is a machine designed to screw over everyone not in the inner circle. The studio system consolidates power in the hands of a few clueless executives who wouldn't know a good script if it slapped them across the face. These are the people making creative decisions, not filmmakers, not writers, but suits who treat movies like quarterly earnings reports. They lock creators into predatory distribution deals that bury profits, contracts that trap artists in endless residuals fights, and a culture where the casting couch destroys lives. And the specs didn't survive either. Remember when Hollywood said it cared about diversity? They promised opportunities for everyone, fresh voices, new perspectives. But when the numbers came in, only 7% of directors are people of color, despite all the lip service. Indies get frozen out, underfunded, and treated like amateurs while the same old guard keeps recycling the same tired ideas. So the industry that was supposed to be a meritocracy ended up being an old boys club with better PR. Now, even if Hollywood had kept its promises about opportunity and fairness, there was still one giant problem: actually making good content. See, normal entertainment industries take risks. They experiment, they innovate, they give new voices a chance. Hollywood? Nope. It's built itself a content factory where everything has to fit the same mold, pass through the same committees, and appeal to the same focus groups. And the result is massive creative gaps you could lose an entire genre in. In 2025, 80% of their slate is sequels or remakes. That's not hyperbole, that's the actual number. Marvel fatigue is real, folks, with audiences walking away because they're tired of the same recycled formulas. Comedy used to make up 15 to 20% of the box office, but now it's down to 2%. Where did the laughs go? They've been killed by fear of offending the loudest voices online. So instead of taking creative risks, Hollywood plays it safe, endlessly recycling the same reboots, sequels, and bland, committee-approved slop. And once they finally commit to making something, the nightmare doesn't end. Boardrooms aren't creative hubs anymore. They're think tanks for IP asset management. They don't make films, they manufacture sterile, focus-grouped content churned out by algorithms. It's like trying to create art with a spreadsheet. From day one, Hollywood's approach to new talent has been, let's say, predatory. Some people look at the system and think, wow, that's opportunity. But most creators think, why is this industry trying to own my entire creative future? And the thing is, a good industry isn't just about making hits. It's supposed to nurture talent. You want to give indies a shot, fund diverse voices, maybe let someone build a career without selling their soul. Hollywood makes all of that harder. They bankrupt smaller studios to eliminate competition, steal original ideas outright, and crush indies to protect their stale empire. When fresh movements like low-budget indie dramas like Mumblecore prove lucrative, Hollywood swoops in, polishes them for mass appeal, and sells them back as their own. It's theft, plain and simple. And racism? It's baked into the foundation. Blaxploitation films exploited black talent for quick bucks back in the 70s, and today, the industry still operates on the same exploitative playbook, just with better marketing. Real creators, the ones with actual stories to tell, get frozen out while Hollywood pretends to care about representation at award shows. Now here's the thing about Hollywood. The industry and its powerful players are basically the same entity. When things are going great, that's amazing. You've got visionary directors, brilliant actors, and iconic producers making magic. But when things go bad, it's kind of like being handcuffed to the most predatory people on the planet. By 2025, Hollywood's reputation had shifted pretty dramatically. It went from dream factory to nightmare fuel. And unfortunately, when your industry protects abusers because they're profitable, people don't separate the art from the artist anymore. Harvey Weinstein and Sean Diddy Combs, these weren't accidents. They were open secrets that Hollywood empowered, ignoring abuse until it became a public liability. Weinstein's 2025 retrial exposed days of survivor testimony, yet the system let him thrive for decades. Diddy's facing multiple suits for assault and trafficking, with a hotline processing complaints from victims drugged and exploited over 20 years. How many careers got ruined? How many victims got silenced for box office bucks? How many suicides happened while executives looked the other way? The human toll is staggering. Surveys show that people are walking away from Hollywood content specifically because of these scandals. That's insane. Imagine people refusing to watch movies because the industry protects predators? Oh wait, that's exactly what's happening. So even if Hollywood's content had been flawless, which it wasn't, the monster protection factor alone was enough to tank its reputation. When your industry is known for covering up crimes, making art suddenly gets a lot harder. While Hollywood was busy trying to duct tape its outdated business model back together, the competition was quietly stealing the show. YouTube, TikTok, independent creators, they didn't just sit around waiting for Hollywood to figure out the internet, they built their own empires. By 2025, YouTube dethroned Netflix as a top streaming platform. Creators were winning, making content audiences actually wanted to watch, and doing it all without studio interference. TikTok completely reshaped how Gen Z consumes entertainment. 15-second videos over 2-hour movies. And with theater costs skyrocketing while the economy tanks, why would anyone pay $20 for a ticket when free? Engaging content is everywhere. The numbers don't lie. The streaming wars saw studios overinvest billions in content floods, only to slash 40% of TV production when profitability tanked. Warner Bros. Alone cut $4 billion. That put Hollywood in third place when it was supposed to dominate the entire entertainment landscape. And remember, this was after they'd had over a century of dominance. It's like being the heavyweight champion, then losing to 3 YouTubers with ring lights. And it's not just the Americans. The real wild card is international content. Films like Neja 2 raked in $1.9 billion globally, while Hollywood's big budget releases struggled to break even domestically. Countries around the world are scaling quality content production at a speed Hollywood just can't match. So while Hollywood's trying to convince people to spend 2 hours in a theater for another Marvel movie, creators are delivering exactly what audiences want: authentic stories, diverse perspectives, and entertainment that doesn't feel like homework. So at the end of the day, there's one more issue Hollywood won't admit is killing them: the preachy, heavy-handed approach to social issues. Look, audiences aren't against diversity. People line up for movies with diverse casts when they're done well. But Hollywood's approach has become so forced, so performative, that it's alienating massive chunks of the audience. Analysts now track ideological sensitivity the same way they track debt ratios, because movies branded as overly political risk losing half their audience before the first trailer even drops. It's gotten so bad that critics argue tick box casting decisions, like race swapping and gender swapping purely for optics, are actively driving people away instead of bringing them in. Take Disney's Star Wars: The Acolyte. The show had an absurd budget of $22 to $23 million per episode. That's $250 million total, and featured what became infamously known as lesbian space witches. It was canceled after just 1 season due to low viewership and going over budget. People don't want to be lectured while they're trying to be entertained. They want stories that resonate emotionally, not box-checking exercises that feel like corporate propaganda. Nothing pats itself on the back more than Hollywood does. They hand out gold statues for movies about struggle, justice, and change, then blackball those same voices in real life. They pretend to be progressive pioneers while running an industry that's been fundamentally unchanged since the 1970s. The hypocrisy is staggering. But wait, there's more. Because Hollywood couldn't just fail on its own merits. External shocks accelerated the implosion. COVID overreaction jacked up production costs and scared audiences away from theaters permanently. Many people discovered they actually prefer watching content at home. Trump's 2025 tariffs slashed foreign imports by 15%, accelerating the production exodus from Los Angeles. In first quarter alone, on-location shoots in LA plummeted 22%, with tens of thousands of jobs gone in 2 years. On-location filming has dropped massively in what's supposed to be the entertainment capital of the world. Homelessness is up, money's disappearing, and the whole place feels like a ghost town. The 2023 WGA and SAG strikes weren't just about pay, they were a desperate cry against the system's greed, with AI threatening to replace writers and actors entirely. Studios dragged their feet, leading to months of shutdowns that cost billions and accelerated the job losses we're seeing now. Even tourism is down 8.2% in 2025. The Hollywood sign is losing its luster. The symbolism couldn't be clearer. And then there's AI, the final nail in Hollywood's coffin. While studios panic about AI replacing their workforce, independent creators are using it to level the playing field. Costs are dropping, barriers are disappearing, and films like Flow, made with Blender by just a handful of people, are winning major awards. AI tools nowadays are doing crazy stuff and letting independents create stunning visuals on shoestring budgets. What used to require a $50 million studio can now be done in someone's bedroom for a few $1,000s. So at the end of the day, the question isn't really, is Hollywood dying anymore? It's, does anyone even give a damn about saving it? Hollywood was supposed to be the cultural heartbeat of America. Bulletproof reputation, unstoppable creative engine, a legacy lasting centuries, but instead of surviving the digital revolution, it's getting roasted from every direction. The story of Hollywood is really the story of American capitalism. Greed, inequality, and hubris collapsing under its own weight. We could have had a cultural legacy for centuries. Instead, it's just turning into the textbook example of what happens when you forget the people you're supposed to be making stuff for. What do you think? Is Hollywood still worth saving, or should we just let it burn?